Hello and welcome. This is Katie. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'm back with another project for Imagine Crafts. This time we're going to create some Father's Day cards, but the real star of the show are the plaid backgrounds. And what I love about this is that I used one set of ink pads ink pad, and it's the Kaleidacolor Ink Pad. This one that I'm using is Caribbean Sea, and I've got several here that I'm going to show you, but what's great about this is that you have 5 different colors that all coordinate together. And so if you ever struggle with creating plaid backgrounds and knowing which colors might go together, the Kaleidacolor sets may be the way to go for you. And here I'm just showing you that you can pinch them together and stamp with them, or you can keep them, and the goal is to keep them separate so your colors don't bleed together. But here are 3 of the ink pads that I have. I have a couple more, but there's a couple in these between the fresh greens and the Caribbean Sea that are similar, or not similar, they're the same, because on the back it gives the number for the refills. And so what I just love about this is that it takes the guesswork out of knowing what colors might go together if that's something that you struggle with. Now, here's the refill numbers, and it's easy to see that there are a couple that are exactly the same. So you may have them in your stash already without having to buy the Kaleidacolors, but just know, which I will link up in the description box below, what those colors are on the back, so that maybe if you do have them, you know which ones are going to go well together. Now, this is just some 120-pound accent opaque cardstock that I'm using. And this here is a tartan layering stencil from the Greetery, and it's 5 layers. And what's awesome about it is you don't have to use all the layers, but you can to change up the way your panels will look. Now, there is an etched line to give you a guide on where to place your cardstock, no matter what the size is, which is what I showed you there. The other cool thing is that on the top you have kind of a quick swatch of the colors, and so if you take your lid off and you line it up with your pad, you'll have a quick swatch of what each of the colors are. Now, I'm making 2 panels, and for this first panel I'm just going to use the last 4 colors. In my test, I did the kind of the middle 3 and left the 2 ends off, and it looked cool too. But as I take each layer off, what's awesome about this layering stencil is the way that you don't have to use all the layers if you don't want. And with these color combinations that come with this Kaleidacolor set, you don't have to use all the colors either. So this is the first layer, and it's the more open layer, so it's recommended that you use your lightest color for that. And then, but it's really your preference. But that's why I wanted to share the Kaleidacolor with you, because if you struggle with knowing what colors to use to create plaids or something like that, then you can use one of these, and they come in all different sets. There's some that have pinks and purples and reds and things, so you don't have to just do the blues and greens. There's a vineyard one, I can't remember, there's a rainbow one, so there's all different sets that give you compact coordinating colors, which is just fantastic. So here I'm finishing up this layer, and when I pull this off, you could leave it like it is. You don't even have to go to the next layer. It looks really cool. I love that. Okay, so we're going to come in with the 3rd layer, and then I'm going to come in to the 3rd color, which is more of like a turquoisey, a really dark teal turquoise, and I really like that color. I think it's so pretty. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm going to do the second panel with all 5 colors, so each layer has its own color, whereas for this panel the last 2 layers are going to be the same color, which is the very end last color. But I will speed through that and just kind of show you a couple little swatches and then do a reveal of each color, because the technique is the same. You're just blending ink on there what I really wanted you to know is that if you have these Kaleidacolors, try them with your plaid stencils. There's other layering plaid stencils out there. I really like the one here from the Greenery because you can buy two different ones. There's the diagonal one, which is what I'm using, and they also have like a regular straight up and down. And so you get a lot of versatility with these. And again, you don't have to use all the layers, so you can have totally different looks with just one ink pad by using the Kaleidacolor. Okay, so we're almost done, and this is the final layer, I believe. And every time I take a layer off, I love it. And you can, oh nope, we got one more. Again, it's going to be the same color. So the last two panels, or the last two layers are the exact same color. And of course you can apply less ink, so that's going to change the way that your panels look with each layer. And I love the versatility. I can't wait to try some of the other ones that I have with this plaid stencil. Think of Christmas, quick, Christmas ones. So maybe we'll just do some tests, and I'll just do a quick video separate sometime with each of the stencils, because I have both. And here's the finished panel. And so the greens, you get two different greens. Like, even though I applied them pretty much the same, it still looks different. Okay, so now we're on to the second panel. So I'm starting with the very first color, which is a light green. And now we're coming into the second stencil, which is this turquoisey, light turquoise color. I'm not really sure what they're called, but we're going to find out when I do my description box. Okay, so here's the third. And even this, you could have stopped at the first two layers, because that looks really cool too. If you want more white in your plaid patterns, then just don't add a layer. I just love it. Okay, see, that's cool too. Can you tell I'm a little excited about this Kaleidacolor set? I just love how these worked out to create these plaids, and I really didn't have to think about it. When I tested it out, I just went right through and thought, wow, I didn't have to think about anything to make this background and wonder. And here's both the panels, each one a little bit different because of the colors that I used from the same ink pad. That's the whole thing. I'm using one ink pad, compact ink pad, to get two different backgrounds. So this Father's Day die is from Cat Scrappiness and includes the shadow there. And so that is cut out of some lapis lazuli Star Dream metallic cardstock. And I cut the Happy Father's Day out of 120 pound heavyweight accent opaque cardstock, and we've got two layers on that, and that panel is done. Now I'm just taking some extra strips of that 120 pound cardstock. I like to take my scraps if I can and use it in place of foam, and so here I'm showing you that I just took 3 layers for each side because of the size that it was, and added that to the back, and that is basically my dimension to pop it up on my card panel. This stamp set is Dapper Dad from Hero Arts, and so I'm going to use a couple stamps from there. One is Happy Father's Day, and we're using the VersaFine Clair in Twilight for that. And ignore my horrible spacing for my letters spelling out the word dad. I really kind of was testing it and wasn't paying attention to how badly I spaced those out and how uneven they are, but at any rate, it works. And the outline for each letter is also the lapis lazuli and Star Dream metallic, and I love the eclipse with the plaid. I think it's so cool. And so now those letters are cut 3 times with some white 120 pound cardstock. And so I didn't like all that white space on the card base, so I cut a postage stamp die from Cat Scrappiness out of that Star Dream metallic, the lapis lazuli, and matted that. And this is one of those little eraser, adhesive erasers that we pay like $4 for. I got that at the dollar store for $1.25. And I thought, you know what, why not test it? Because I have a bunch of adhesive that's on this panel that you can't see, but it's really sticky and tacky from when I had to do my die cut and for the letters. And so I thought, well, that's perfect time to test it. And it took it right off. It didn't smudge the ink or anything. Perfect. So check out your dollar store to get yourself one of those adhesive removers. Okay, the Love You comes from that Dapper Dad set, again inked up in VersaFine Clair, Twilight, and that finishes up our cards. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have the Kaleidacolors, break them out. If you don't, think about investing in them, because it's a nice way to have some compact color coordinating colors to be able to do techniques like this. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video.